In the world of solo leveling, where the lines between humanity and monsters blur and the fate of Earth teeters on the edge of annihilation, there's more hidden beneath the surface than what even the sharpest hunter can sense. It all begins with a simple question. What if the weakest hunter alive became the most powerful being in existence? Sung Jin-Woo's journey isn't just a tale of growth. It's a cosmic revelation. The moment he accepted the mysterious quest after nearly dying in a double dungeon, everything changed. But what most people don't know is that the system that saved him wasn't created by Earth's technology. It was forged by ancient rulers, beings who govern entire dimensions. The system is not just a game-like mechanic, it's a prison, a chain, a tool designed by the architect to preserve the Shadow Monarch's essence until a proper vessel could awaken. And guess who that vessel was? Our very own Sung Jin-Woo. Now, here's where it gets insane. The architect, that haunting digital voice guiding Jin-Woo, isn't some passive narrator. He's a god-level entity, one of the oldest servants of Ashbourne, the Shadow Monarch. He orchestrated the entire setup from the beginning. The dungeons, the monsters, the awakening of hunters, all part of a celestial war between the monarchs and the rulers. Speaking of rulers and monarchs, let's dive deep. The monarchs are ancient beings of destruction, chaos incarnate. The rulers? Divine beings tasked with preserving balance. Earth? Just another battlefield for them. Jin-Woo wasn't just fighting for survival. He was fighting in a war that spanned galaxies. One mind-bending truth. Ashbourne, the original Shadow Monarch, didn't choose Jin-Woo at random. He observed him for years. When Jin-Woo sacrificed himself for his team in the double dungeon, Ashbourne saw the potential. A human whose will refused to break. A perfect vessel. And remember that moment when Jin-Woo begins to resurrect shadows? It's not just necromancy. It's a form of memory preservation. Each shadow retains fragments of their former lives. Igris remembers his past. Baru weeps for his failure. They're not just soldiers, they're haunted souls, loyal to their king. Baru himself? He's a mutated ant from Jeju Island's catastrophic S-rank dungeon. Originally a boss monster, Baru was so powerful that even elite hunters stood no chance. Jin-Woo not only defeated him, he converted him. And in doing so, created a shadow stronger than any living hunter. Igris, the first knight to ever bow to Jin-Woo, was a former noble warrior in his previous life. The respect between them is deep, silent but powerful. In one manhwa panel, Igris even subtly blocks an attack meant for Jin-Woo before the king reacts. Loyalty beyond death. And here's something most fans miss. The Shadow Monarch's palace? It's not located on Earth. It exists in a dimension between realms. A fragment of the destroyed Shadow World, floating in the void. You know how Jin-Woo levels up by completing quests? Those weren't randomly generated. The system analyzed his psyche, trauma, and weaknesses to create personalized missions that pushed him to his limits. Every pain he endured was calculated. Now let's talk time. Jin-Woo's speed eventually surpasses light. Yes, light. In his fight against the Beast Monarch, he's seen blitzing across space with movements no one can track. When he reaches his peak form, he can freeze time perception itself, making entire armies move in slow motion. And his strength? At full power, he punches with enough force to flatten mountain ranges. In one battle, a single attack shakes an entire dimension. He's not just strong, he's a walking apocalypse. Now let's rewind a bit. The Jeju Island arc? That wasn't just a major turning point for Korea's fate. It was a test orchestrated by the monarchs to gauge Jin-Woo's threat level. Baru was specifically mutated as a prototype counter to the Shadow Monarch. One of the most chilling reveals? Every hunter in the world has a soul lock. a tether to another dimension. If that lock is broken, they die instantly. Jin-Woo, he severed his own lock. That's why he can defy death. And speaking of death, Jin-Woo dies. Literally. But because of the Shadow Monarch's power, death is just a doorway. His soul becomes one with Ashbourne's essence. In that moment, Jin-Woo isn't reborn. He ascends. Here's a wild twist. The anime adaptation teases new sequences that weren't in the manhwa. Studio A1 Pictures, known for their detailed animations, has hinted at expanding the lore of the rulers. We might actually see more of the Celestial War in flashbacks, something the manhwa only hinted at. Did you catch the visual Easter egg in episode 1? The statue's eyes briefly glow before the dungeon collapses. That glow represents the architect activating his final protocol. And that brings us to the system shutdown. After Jin-Woo becomes the true Shadow Monarch, the system deactivates. Why? Because its mission is complete. It wasn't meant to exist indefinitely. It was a chrysalis. And Jin-Woo is the butterfly. One haunting detail. When Jin-Woo returns to a peaceful timeline, no one remembers the battles. Not even the hunters who once stood beside him. He carries the weight of a war that was erased from reality. But his shadows? They remember. They bow in silence. They exist as echoes of the world that was. Solo Leveling is more than an action series. It's a layered exploration of sacrifice, memory, cosmic fate, and the burden of power. Every dungeon is a metaphor. Every shadow, a lost story. And at the center of it all, a boy who was once the weakest. Now, he's a monarch among gods. And we've only just begun to uncover what lies in the shadows.